What's going on, you guys? It's your man James, aka JP, back again with another toy room review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Avatar: The Last Airbender Monopoly set. Now this is a set I've been really excited to get my hands on because I'm a huge Avatar: The Last Airbender fan, but I'm also a really big Monopoly fan. I don't even know how many versions of Monopoly at this point, so when I saw this, it was definitely a no-brainer. I had to order it. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the packaging, then we'll go ahead and unbox this and take a closer look at everything that comes inside. So starting off with the packaging, you get this really beautiful image of Aang right here in the Avatar state, bending all four elements. It just looks really, really nice. I'm a really big fan of how this looks. You can obviously see the Monopoly logo up there and the Avatar logo down here, Hasbro Gaming and Nickelodeon. Then as you come to each side of the box, you have different characters. So on this side you have Monopoly, and you can see Katara right there, water bending with all blue on this side of the box, which is very nice. And then coming to this side, you have Aang in his regular non-Avatar state form, just simply airbending with that very nice happy look on his face, and you can see the Parker's brother and Hasbro Gaming logos right there. Then if you come to this side, you have Zuko in his angry rage, firebending all over the place. It just looks very, very good, and of course the Avatar logo right there. And then as we get to this side, you have Toph earthbending, and just kind of has a blank look on her face. Would have been nice to see a more aggressive look. I think that would have fit in more with Toph, but either way, still looks very nice. You can see that right there. And then as we go ahead and go over to the back, you can see right here, Monopoly, defeat the Fire Lord, and then it reads right here, journey through the four bending nations as a member of Team Avatar and wield your incredible powers to protect the lands from the ruthless Fire Nation. And you can see some of the details of everything that comes included, which we will take a look at in a second. But just to give you guys a nice look at the box. And then what I really like is the whole brown background actually looks like one of the maps that you would find in the Avatar universe right here, which is really nice. And it's actually, as I take a closer look at it through the camera lens, it is the whole like map of the whole Avatar universe. So that's really nice. You can see, like, I think this is the Fire Nation up here and whatnot, so that is really, really cool. And then down here you just get your simple like copyright stuff. So that is pretty much it for the packaging. So I'm going to go ahead and take all the contents out. We're going to take a closer look at everything that comes inside, see how the play kind of differentiates a little bit from your standard Monopoly, and then I'll wrap up and give you guys my final thoughts and opinions. And before we get into the contents of everything inside, I did want to show off this little cover right here. Now all the game pieces and the board are hidden under here, but I thought this was a really nice touch. As we zoom in right here, you can see this very nice image of everybody from the Avatar universe, and then right down here it says water, earth, fire, and air, which is normal, but then it also says fan and sword. Now that is a little strange, but I guess fan is gonna refer to Suki, and the sword, I guess, to Sokka, even though he's not holding his sword that he made at the Fire Nation at the moment. But yeah, that's interesting. So I guess that's gonna play a role in the game as well. But I just thought this was a really, really nice little image right here, and I definitely did want to show that off. Before we get into all the contents that come inside, I did want to show this off. Now this is the bottom half of the actual box right here. You can see this is the bottom portion, and on the inside flaps they actually have completely different pictures from what I showed off on the front. So if you take a look at the front, I'll bring that in right here. You can see it's a completely different picture. So it's just really nice that they went through the trouble of actually doing that. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around without dropping anything. So you can see Aang right here, and if I bring in Aang from the other one, you can see the difference right there. And then again, I'm just trying to do this all with one hand. So we got Zuko, and then if I bring in Zuko over here, he has the fire daggers versus the fire blast before. So that's really nice. And then the last one is going to be Toph, and we'll bring in Toph right here. So still a little bit disappointed with Toph. Like, it's not really anything too special. It would have been nice to see just a more aggressive version of Toph, but she is pretty tame in both pictures, and both pictures are almost identical on this one, so not a big fan of that. But it's just really cool that they went through the trouble of actually making like completely new pictures for the inside of the box, which is something that nobody's ever really going to see or probably even notice that they are different. But for people like me, it's really nice to see, and I was very happy to notice that while I was unboxing. Right, so let's go ahead and get into all the contents. I'm going to start with some of the bigger stuff, so then we can get a close-up look at some of the smaller stuff. So we'll start here with the currency. Now this isn't your traditional currency like you have with other Monopoly games. If I can get this, oh, this is one piece, that's why. It's not like dollars. You actually have like these little coins right here. You can see each coin has a different nation on it. So you have earth, water, fire, and air right there. And then if you open it up, you can see these coins right here are worth 5. These are like gold, and then these are 1, and these are silver. And then these also have the different nation symbols on there. So that is the in-game currency. There are no traditional dollars. You just have these coins. We'll put that to the side, and we'll actually go ahead and take a look at the instruction manual right here. So you can see the same cover that's on the box, Avatar The Last Airbender. You can see the whole purpose of the game and the mission. So if you guys want to pause to read any of that, you can go ahead and do that. I'm not going to go through and read it, but I will leave it so you guys can pause the video. You can see the contents right there. We'll go ahead and open it up. And there is the first page on how to set it up. Again, feel free to pause wherever you guys want to. And then here's the inside page. And we have this page right here. And as we unfold, that leads us to this page. And we'll go to the back side. You can see this right here. And we'll move on to this page with the final page right over here. Alright, so there you guys go. If you do want to read any of that in detail, be sure to pause. But that is the instruction manual. Then we'll move on to these cards. Now, these are kind of like the property cards. I'm not going to go too in-depth with this because we are going to take a look at the board, so it is going to be a little repetitive. We'll take a look at some of the cards. You can see the Southern Air Temple right here, and then the different costs for it. And then we'll just kind of randomly pick some. So we have Shipwreck. You can see that. And again, I'm just going to randomly go through this. We have the Swamp. And take a look at the back side. And that is pretty much it. Like I said, we're going to go through the board and look at every piece. And then you have these special pieces. But these are all on the board as well. But you got the glider with the nice artwork. So that is it for that. So I'm gonna take a closer look at the board in a second, so bear with me. We're just gonna skip those cards, move on to these cards, which you can see Aang in the Avatar state. And this is like the chance cards in this game, basically. And again, not gonna go through all of these cards, but I'll definitely go through some of them so you guys can take a look. And here we go. Just picking random cards. So it looks like there are different colors, so I guess like the red is something bad happens to you, and then the blue is like something good happens. So there you go. So a ton of chance cards. You can see the stack right there. So very, very nice. It did seem like there was a lot more blue cards than red cards, or maybe it's just the way it was organized. Yeah, it might just be the way that it's shuffled, but still really cool. And I love how it just has a whole Avatar feel with like the old school map and everything right on there. Really, really nice touches all around on this set. And then we'll take a look at these cards. Now these cards correspond to what actual like playing token you get, if we can get the camera to focus. There we go. So depending which character you get, depends which piece you get, which we'll take a look at those pieces in a second. But the character cards include Aang, and then you can see like a description of Aang right there. And then it tells you what Aang's special power is, so you guys can see that. And then we also have Katara, and then her special power. And then we have Sokka, and we have Sokka's special power. And then Toph, which is the same artwork from the box. Maybe the other ones were as well, I wasn't really paying attention. And you can see her special power. And then Zuko, this was from the box for sure. And his special power. And this should be the last one, yep, Suki. And Suki's special power. And there we go. So Aang, this was not used on the box. This one might have been, Sokka might have been. And the rest of these I think were, but I don't recall seeing this anywhere on the box. Then the last thing we'll look at is this Appa right here, and then everything else we'll get a nice closer look at. But here is his Appa. It's a funny looking piece because it looks really nice. It really does look, you know, like Appa, but it is wider than he should be because obviously you put the cards in here. I believe you put the chance cards in here. If I can do this, there we go. So I believe you put the cards in here like so. So it just looks funny because Appa is like a little bit stretched out and wider than he should look. But yeah, especially here, it looks kind of funny, but it does look really nice. It's a really nice looking Appa piece. So even if you just wanted to display it on your shelf, I think it would look pretty nice. So that is it for these pieces. Now we're going to take a closer look at some of these smaller pieces, and then we'll take a closer look at the board, and then we'll wrap up. Alright you guys, so we're going to start by taking a quick look at the dice that come included. So this is the White Lotus dice. As you can see, one of the die has the White Lotus symbol on there. Now the rest of it just has numbers, and the thing is a little weird is that this dice right here, if we take a closer look, kind of is like rounded around the corners, where this one is just like your standard cube. So I'm not really sure why this one specifically is rounded, but you can see this one just has numbers on it. So I believe this is 1 through 6, and then this has 1 through 5, with one of the pieces being the White Lotus. Now I actually didn't read through the instructions to see what the purpose of that is, but you probably get something special if you land on the White Lotus, I'm assuming. I just don't know why they are different shapes, where this one is more rounded, where this one is your traditional cube. But either way, it's just your standard dice done in white and black. Would have been nice to see some special colors on it, maybe like all the different nations colors all throughout, but you just get white and black, so not the end of the world. Pretty nice still. And next up we have the property pieces. So these are going to be equivalent to your houses and hotels. However, the house would be the tent right here, and then the hotel would be I don't know if this is like a fire nation or an earth kingdom, but it's like one of the big palaces from the nation. So we'll take a look here at the tent. Now these are really small, so I don't know if my camera's even going to focus. It is a little bit. So you can see it's just green, but it has nice wrinkles and everything. And it's pretty standard. Doesn't really look like a tent, like it just looks like a triangle, but it's one of those things where like if you know, you know, obviously. And we'll take a look at like the palace right here. Again, I don't know that this belongs to a specific like kingdom or anything like that. But you can see it does have some nice detailing on there, and the camera's having a hard time focusing because it is such a small piece, so I'm actually going to put it back on the base. But you can see it does look very nice, and it's done in red, so I'm assuming it's a Fire Nation piece, but I don't think it matters. It's just a kingdom, and it's your houses and hotels in this game. Alright you guys, and here are all of the playing pieces, and you will see that my biggest problem with it right off the bat is that not all of them stand up. Pretty much only 2 of them stand up, and the rest of them lay flat. That's going to be very troublesome when you're trying to move the pieces and picking them up while they're laying flat, and they just don't look as nice, and you can't really display them like you can some of your others from other Monopoly sets, if that's something that you guys are interested in. But I'm going to go ahead and bring these in to get a closer look, because they are really small, so the camera will have a hard time focusing, but I'm going to adjust the angle here and we'll take a closer look. Alright you guys, and here is going to be the first figure. Now bear with me, because like I said, they are very tiny, but this is going to be for the Air Nation, and we do have Momo right here, and he is actually looking very nice. So one thing about these pieces is that they're not just like a straight up silver, they have some sort of like blue tint to them, and I think that's just a nice little color variation. I think the Pixar set or the Toy Story set of Monopoly actually had that same kind of blue tint on the actual playing pieces, but it's detailed out very nicely, and I love that he can stand up, because again, not all of these can. And then for the Earth Nation, this is going to be Toph's little championship belt from when she fought in the wrestling when we first got introduced to Toph. So that's a nice little touch, and come on camera, there we go. And this piece is actually detailed out very nicely. You can see a bunch of sculpted work in here. You got the little Earth Nation symbol right there, as well as all these little studs and everything sculpted all throughout. And then if we come to the back, you can see the clip and everything right there. And man, the camera is just having a very hard time focusing because these are so tiny. And then moving on, we have the Fire Nation, and that's going to be the blue spirit mask that Zuko wears. There we go, so you can get a better look at that right there. So detailed out very nicely again. Now the thing with this one is that it can stand up on his own, but the base is pretty small, so he will stand up, but he is very flimsy. So if you happen to like bump into the table or anything like that, he is going to fall over very easily. But at least he does have a standing option, because not all of these pieces do. But again, good detail all throughout. Moving on to, I don't think this is going to be like particular to any nation. This is what the box was alluding to with fan and sword that I mentioned earlier. This is going to be the fan portion, and this is for Suki. This is another good looking piece. I mean, you see all the different like fan blades all individually sculpted in there. But the problem is it's a very thin piece, and it will not stand up on its own at all. Like, you might be able to slightly balance it, but that'll just be lucky, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely not going to stand up on its own. So I do not like that. I wish that all of these pieces could individually stand up. Anyways, moving on. This is going to be for the Water Nation, and this is Katara's mother's necklace. Work with me. There we go. And again, all the details are there. You can see the entire Water Nation symbol right there, and then the neck loop is wrapped around to the back. Not as much detail on the back, but there doesn't really need to be. But yeah, so this is another nice piece. Again, just can't stand up on its own. Maybe if you put it upside down... Nope, even then it wouldn't really stand up. So again, another piece that just does not stand up. Very, very annoying, and yeah, not a fan of these flat laying pieces. And then the final one we have here, this is going to represent Sword, and this is Sokka's boomerang, and I would never really consider this a sword. This was always more of like a club. Would have been nice to see his Fire Nation sword, but either way, it's nice. It's not super detailed, but the boomerang does look pretty much identical to the action figure that I had just recently reviewed of the McFarlane version of Sokka, so that is very nice. And the club itself isn't really detailed out too well. It's missing the little ball piece right here. You do have the wrap sculpted there, but again, these are just plain pieces. They're not meant to be like super high-end or super detailed or anything, but I'm just noticing it as I'm going around. And again, this piece will not stand up on its own whatsoever. It's a very, very thin piece, if you guys can see that right there. So those are all the plain pieces. Now, finally, let's get on to the board. Alright, so we'll start by taking a quick look at the main center artwork of the board, which is really, really nice. You can see Aang going into the Avatar state here, looking very angry. You have Katara in an angry pose, whipping up water right here. Sokka again in a battle pose holding his boomerang, Momo flying around over here. The only thing I will say is it feels a little weird not having like all of the characters like on that artwork that I showed off earlier, but I really do love this artwork, and this whole board just looks absolutely epic. On top of having the characters here and the water coming up, you have rocks forming over here, fire going over here, air over here, and you have the different symbols for each nation in each of the corners right here. I'm just going to zoom in and kind of pan around to give you guys a better look of how that looks, because it does look amazing. I really do love the artwork on here. Man, when I tell you it is such a good time to be an Avatar fan with all of the available options that we have for toys and games right now, it is just amazing. So that is the artwork. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and adjust the angle and take a better look at all of the properties that come included. Alright, so obviously we're going to start right here at Go, work our way left, and go all around the board. So obviously you have Go, which is pretty basic. It's blue, but you do have all the nation symbols mixed in right there. Then coming over here, you have the Southern Air Temple. You have the Team Avatar, which is like one of those chance cards that I mentioned earlier. You have the Southern Sanctuary, Admiral Zhao, and as we pan over this way, you can see the glider, the Northern Air Temple, another Team Avatar location, the Eastern Air Temple, and the Western Air Temple. So this whole side of the board is basically all air. Now as we go ahead and rotate this around, you will see the in jail type of thing. Just your traditional standard like in jail artwork. Would have been nice to see maybe like Uncle Iroh in jail. And speaking of Uncle Iroh, I just noticed he's missing from, like, I haven't seen anything about Uncle Iroh in this whole set now that I'm thinking about it, which is very strange. But it would have been nice to see Uncle Iroh in jail or somebody else in jail, because there's plenty of times the characters are in jail. Now I know Monopoly sets never really change his artwork, but it would be nice to see. And it says just visiting right here. Over here you have the iceberg, the Heibai, and coming this way, the Southern Water Tribe Village, the Shipwreck, the Canoe, the Northern Palace, Team Avatar, the canals, and the Spirit Oasis. So obviously this whole side of the board is the water side. Then as we turn around this way, and coming over this way, we have free parking, Kyoshi Island, Team Avatar, the Cave of Two Lovers, Omashu, Sand Sailors, the Swamp, Wan Shi Tong's Library, the Tui, I believe is how you pronounce that, forgive me if I'm wrong, and Ba Sing Se over here. And then coming this way, we have Go to Jail, which again, it would have been nice to see like a Fire Nation guard or something here. Just, I really wish that they go through the trouble of changing the rest of the board. They might as well change this artwork as well. And it's not just this set like I mentioned earlier. It's all their custom sets. They never change this for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways, moving on. That was obviously, we just covered the Earth Nation side of the board. Now we are on the Fire Nation with Roku's Island, Sun Warrior Temple, another Team Avatar location, the Boiling Rock, Airship, Team Avatar, Ember Island, Princess Azula, and the Fire Nation capital. And then that is all of the pieces. Now we are finally back at go. Alright you guys, and there's my unboxing slash overview of the brand new Avatar The Last Airbender Monopoly set. Now overall, this is such an amazing set. If you're a fan of Avatar, you definitely need to pick this set up. Now I do hope that eventually they make a Legend of Korra set down the line. I don't really see that happening since it's not as popular as Avatar, but if they did make it, I definitely would pick it up. But this is an awesome set. I do have a few minor nitpicks here and there, like obviously not all the pieces stand up on their own. That's like my biggest nitpick. It drives me crazy seeing all these pieces just laying flat right here. But other than that, it's an amazing set. I love it. I can't wait to actually break this out and start playing this. I just need to get some of my friends over that are actually Avatar The Last Airbender fans, because Monopoly fans wouldn't really like understand what's going on with this. So you definitely are going to want to make sure that you play with somebody who is an Avatar The Last Airbender fan and not just trying to play with somebody who wants to play Monopoly. So that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. That link's in the description down below. And also be sure to check out some of my other Avatar videos as well as some of my other Monopoly videos. Those will be popping up on the screen for you guys to click on in any second. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. So as always guys, stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys next time.